Jane's psycho killer reveal nearly didn't make the horror thriller's final cut. Warning: spoilers lie ahead for Psycho Killer 1. Of the most important elements of Georgina Campbell's psycho killer character was almost cut entirely. Penned by C7's Andrew Kevin Walker and directed by 8mm producer Gavin Pone. In his feature debut, the horror thriller stars Campbell as police officer Jane Archer, who is rocked by the sudden murder of her husband and fellow officer during a highway traffic stop. Developing a singular obsession with tracking the murderer down, she goes down a dark web of secrets and conspiracies involving the killer dubbed the Satanic Slasher. Alongside Campbell, the psycho killer cast includes James Preston Rogers as the Slasher Golden Globe nominee Malcolm McDowell and Escape Room's Logan Miller. In honor of the movie's release, Screen Rant's Liam Crowley interviewed Georgina Campbell to discuss Psycho Killer. Reflecting on the movie's 19-year journey from being written to being filmed, the Barbarian alum explained that while the structure of it definitely changed from its original draft, her character largely stayed the same throughout the development. However, the star did reveal that there was a lot of conversation regarding the reveal that Jane is pregnant in the film, with the team going back and forth on whether that should happen or not. This even led to Psycho Killer having two versions of its story, and the decision not being made until the last moment, which Campbell feeling the choice to keep Jane as being pregnant as the right decision. Georgina Campbell, whether she was going to be pregnant or not, that was something that was never really decided on until they got to the edit. So we did two versions, one where she was pregnant, and we did another version where she wasn't pregnant, which was very strange to do, to be honest, because they're very different ends of the spectrum to play. Screen Rant, this is your month. Psycho Killer and Cold Storage are both going to be in theaters at the same time. Is this the first time this has happened to you, Georgina Campbell? I think so, yeah. It's wild. It's really, really fun. I filmed both of them back to back as well, so it's so bizarre that they've both ended up coming out at the same time. That never happens, but yeah, hopefully people aren't going to be sick of me. Screen Rant, you've been dubbed very quickly in your career as a screen queen, so to speak, but there are elements of Jane in this film that felt very final girl to me. What's the difference between the two, Georgina Campbell? My god, I have absolutely no idea. I think a screen queen is normally a final girl. I feel like usually they're the ones that get to the end of the movie. I think to me they're the same. I don't know if I can really give you a difference. Screen Rant, I picked up on a lot of parallels between the Satanic Slasher and Michael Myers, both physically imposing, and they defy the laws of mortality throughout both of those franchises. For you as Jane, did you take any inspiration from Laurie Strode, the final girl in the Halloween franchise, Georgina Campbell? I mean, every final girl kind of ends up coming to your mind. I feel like in this situation I didn't. I really clung to the fact that Jane is a cop. For me, it felt very different because that's someone who has authority, and that's someone who is meant to be good in a situation like this. A lot of times I feel like the final girl is someone who's finding themselves in this situation. They don't necessarily have the skills, but they're learning them throughout the film, whereas I feel like Jane has the skills already. It was really enjoyable to get to play that, and to get to play someone who was trying to stop the killer rather than necessarily trying to escape him. Screen Rant, I do have a very spoilery question for you that we will save until after release. We as the audience know that the Satanic Slasher is not dead. Do you believe that Jane thinks the slasher is dead, Georgina Campbell? I think she thinks the slasher is dead for sure. That's how I saw her when we were filming it, was that she has this final moment where it's over and she now has to deal with her life and her life without her husband. In my mind, she thinks it's done. But yeah, as little does she know he survived. Psycho Killer is now in theaters.